Hello everyone, welcome back to the Cursing Seamstress. Today I have a couple of things. The main thing I have is a pattern review. This pattern review is from Love Notions. It's called the Dashing Vest. This comes, and the best thing is it is a free pattern. So if you've never used a Love Notions pattern, and I had not until this one, it's a great way to try their patterns and see how well their descriptions and instructions are. So this pattern is for 12 months to 14 years. It's meant for knit fabrics. It says it's a fun hipster style. And this is what it looks like when you print it out. That's the vest. Well, let me go through this. Here's another photo. Notice there are 3 buttons here, and that the opening or the bottom part is meant to be open. The top button starts right at the intersection of the V of the neckline. This is layered, so when you print it, you have the ability to print only the size that you need, so you don't have a bunch of lines to worry about. This pattern, I made a size 8 for my younger grand boy, and it takes 5/8 of a yard. Recommended fabrics are medium to heavyweight knits, such as interlock, cotton lycra, ponte, velour, French terry, or micro fleece and sweatshirt fleece. The binding should be made with knit ribbing or cotton knits with some content of spandex and lycra. The seams are all 3/8 of an inch. You only have to cut 2 pieces. Those 2 pieces are these 2 pieces, the back piece, which is cut on the fold, and then you cut 2 of the front pieces, of course, in reverse. The bands that you put around the arm's eyes, the band that you put around the bottom, and the band that you put around the neckline and down the front are all just given in measurement, so you don't have to print or pin those out. It's not lined. It's very simple to put together. I had no trouble with that at all. But I will tell you a couple of things about the vest. One thing is that I'm trying to think. I don't have. Yes, I do have this. When I was finishing this up, I was thinking which side I needed to put the buttons on, and I couldn't remember. I thought that I remembered how my blouses. I don't really wear a lot of button-up blouses, but I looked at this picture, and this has the vest going with the right side overlapping the left. And that's how a woman's blouse buttons, so that is not correct. I don't know if it matters today or not, but I figured that I wanted to get it right because the last thing I wanted was for my daughter to tell me that I had done it wrong, and Walker wasn't going to wear it because it was not right. I don't know. So I did want to get that correct. So, and actually it worked out a lot better that I did it that way, and I'll show you why. There are a couple of things that you probably need to think about. I'm not the best sewer of knits, This did great, and I found myself, and I do this a lot when I sew with knits, is I will stitch first with a long straight stitch. Once I know that that looks fine, then I will serge on top of it. So all of this, I'm quite proud to say, was done with leftover fabric. This dinosaur fabric, I made a skirt for myself and love it, and I do wear it. It has stretch. It has stretch. These little dinosaurs are kind of, I don't know, they're kind of raised up a little bit, not to the point of being like those white things on the bottom of bedroom shoes that keep you from slipping, but you kind of get the idea. It's different from the actual knit fabric. So this is it. It's cute as can be. This is what the back looks like, full of dinosaurs. This is the binding that I used. It was just a cotton knit that I've had for a long time. I don't even know what I made with it, but it was absolutely perfect for this. I didn't have enough to completely cut out this whole front, the part that goes behind the neck and then down the front. So I did have to piece it at the center back. You might not can see that line because it is black, but and that was fine. You know, I just don't have I don't really have any complaints. The only thing that I did wrong, and I didn't know that it was really wrong, was that, and I'll show you, when you are, because just like any other, you know, binding, neck binding, arm binding, whatever, you do have to ease it in some. And it worked out really well. The arms did great. The band around the bottom did really well. But the band that goes around the neck and down the front, when I was putting the band on, you know, you stretch the band. You don't stretch the fabric itself. But I stretched too much. I probably didn't need to stretch at all. Right here, just on the right side. That's why I was glad that I was lapping the left over the right. Because what happened is it sort of has a bowed out appearance, just a little bit. And that's not a good look for a child. So it almost has the look on that one side of princess seams, you know, where it comes out just a little bit right at the bust area. But I don't think it's horribly noticeable. So just as a caveat, if you decide to make this, don't stretch the band around that curved area. There's plenty of room. You really don't have to stretch a lot anyway, but there's plenty of room to stretch from the upper part of the chest around the back, and if you need to, toward the bottom here. But don't stretch around that curved area because you will get a bowed look. It didn't do it on the opposite side. So the other thing is I decided not to use buttons, and instead I used Babyville snaps, and I had some black ones, so you really can't see them too well, but they're black. I did put 3 there. The last one I put probably further to the bottom than the picture shows, but it worked out fine. The bigger the size, you may, instead of putting 3 buttons or snaps, you may want to put 4 as it gets bigger. The only other thing is that I would think about using, and it tells you this in the instructions, about using interfacing on this front band. And at first when I read that, it said something like, if you're not using a heavyweight knit, that you probably should put in interfacing. And this is not heavyweight at all. But I thought, well, there's no reason to do that. I'm fine. But the reason, of course, is that you're putting buttons on there. So you may need some reinforcement. But the other side of that is that there is no reason that you would ever really need to unbutton or unsnap the closures, because it will go over the head fine. You wash it, dry it, and wear it without ever undoing the closures. That's all I can think of. This is an 8. My grand boy normally wears a 7, but I purposely made the bigger size. And it is just a tiny bit big on him, but I certainly prefer that over being a little bit small. I've got pictures that I'll put in at the end so you can see how absolutely adorable he is. I'm looking for some more cute kids printed knit fabrics, and I found a really good site, and I can't remember what it is. I'll try to put it below. I know Joann's is pretty good about that. Fabric.com has some cute prints, but this place that I found really has some adorable printed knits, including Snoopy and I don't know what else. I'll put that below, and I may address it in my next video, because that website was having a sale, and I actually put some things in my cart, thinking that I'm going to make this again for Walker. I hope I do that, and then he'll end up not wearing this one, and I will have made the others for naught. But anyway, just a couple of other things. It's getting close to Halloween, and so it was probably 3 weeks ago, I took my serger in for repair. I've had it for almost 30 years, and it's a Kenmore. It's fabulous. I don't know what happened. I thought I got a pin stuck in it. I don't think that was it in the end. I really don't know what it was, but it's been there for quite a while. The couple who run the FAF store where I go, I bought 2 FAF machines there, and I bought 1 FAF machine when a prior owner had it. This couple is elderly. The woman is in her late 70s. Her husband is in his 80s. They really work hard to keep the shop going. It's a tiny little place. She gives quilting lessons, embroidery lessons. He does all the repairs on the sewing machines. They really are working hard. So when I went in there, she also sells fabric. It's all quilting fabric. She sells thread, regular thread, embroidery thread, all the name brands, the good brands. The fabric she sells, if it's not all Moda, it's certainly a good part Moda cotton. And so when I went in, I was looking at the sale racks, and I mean, the store is just packed full of stuff. And so she had a sale rack, and I think it was like 30 or 40% off. And so she was selling quite a bit of Halloween fabric from last year. I think I paid maybe $6 a yard. I thought that was very, very reasonable for the quality that she sells. And I also just like to give her business because I want her and her husband to be there for a long time. So I bought 2 fabrics, thinking that I could coordinate them pretty well. And I did. This is the first pillowcase that I made. This one is for Walker, my younger grand boy. It's got spiders on the edge of the pillowcase. I put orange piping here, and the rest of it is owls that are dressed up in different costumes. A witch, a mummy, a pirate, maybe that's all. But anyway, it's so cute, and it came out really well. And I'll show you the other one. This is for my other grand boy, and I did the reverse. I used the spiders as the main fabric, and the end border piece is the owl print, and I used purple piping on this. I did this a little bit differently. I'm not going to go into detail because I think it would be too hard to even for me to explain. But usually when I do a pillowcase, I have that side seam that goes that I've sewn all the way down from the end all the way down to the bottom. This time I did it where I sewed the side with this attached, and then I folded this back to this side and stitched it. When I did the other one, I noticed that it was pretty difficult to sew this on with the machine because it wanted to buckle a little bit, and it worked out fine. I just had to keep messing with it to make it turn out. As much as I hate hand sewing, when I did the second one, I did hand sew it down to ease this piece in. It wasn't because it was cut, the wrong length or anything like that. It's just the way it works. So that is hand stitched. I finished, of course, pillowcases are really quick to do. I cut and sewed this one up this morning in about an hour and a half or so. The same with the one that I did yesterday. But they're really sweet and cute, and hopefully they'll last quite a while for them. That's it. So I will, again, try to put the name of that fabric store below. And if you know anything about them, let me know. I've never ordered from them before, so I am going to go ahead and put my order in today. I think today is the last day of the sale. So I would go there and take a look and see what you think. That's it. I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye-bye.